Hello, welcome to the session on how you bring in your data into Power BI. So once you install Power BI and you launch the Power BI desktop, this is how it comes up, right? For some of you, this might not be showing your name and this might be showing like a sign-in kind of details here, or maybe a tutorial like mine is showing. Never worry, just in this case, we're going to close this so that we get a uniform view. And then the first thing you'll most likely have to do whenever you kickstart Power BI is you need to bring in the data to use to create your report. So Power BI allows you to connect to data of different type, over 100 different types of data source. So if I click more, you'll be able to see all of these multiple options of data source you can connect to, right? So be it an Excel file, a text file, an SQL server database file, a server database table, an Access database, SharePoint, even the things you don't ordinarily think of as data sources, things like, uh, let me just go to online service. I see a lot of them in this section. So like your LinkedIn, GitHub, GitHub account, LinkedIn, even Facebook used to be here. I hope it's not been taken out. So even web apps that you have that allows you to connect to it. One time we did connect, see quickly, QuickBooks. We use QuickBooks in our company, and at the time we decided to connect to it so we can be able to analyze our expenses and revenue. So all of these are what it allows you to connect to. In this demonstration, we're going to connect to Excel files. The good thing is that if you know how to use the get data for any data source, is the same concept for other data source. The only difference is just you will need to provide the peculiarity. If it's a database, you provide the address of the database and then your user login and password, and instantly to display all the tables you have access to, and you pick the table you want, and the moment you pick it, you get the same experience as we will get if I pick an Excel file as my data source. So I'm going to connect to these Excel data sources. We're going to bring in 1, 2, 3, 4 Excel files. I don't even need to close the Excel files. That's the interesting thing about them. Though sometimes you might want to close your Excel files so that you don't mistakenly update them without knowing. But then for this demonstration, I'm just going to go ahead with picking Excel. Then I go to the folder where I have those files saved. So let's start with the sales data itself, and I click on open. Unfortunately, for now, Power BI cannot pick more than one Excel file. But then when you pick an Excel file, you can bring in multiple sheets. So if you have multiple sheets in your Excel file, they will display in here, right? So in this case, I have just one sheet, and that's the only sheet I'll bring in. Now, if you look at this data is not coming correctly, right? The header that I need is this second row. Unfortunately, it's not picking that. It's picking something else. And the reason is because in the raw data that I have, this is the way it is. I have a header already, which is not really the thing that describes the data that I have. So this is why I'm getting that experience when I bring in the data into Power BI. So I'm going to want to make some transformation. So that means I click on transform data. And the moment I click on transform data, it will open up the Power Query side of Power BI. So you see Power Query editor, and then instantly I will start making the transformations that I need. So in this case, I want Power BI to move up my header to be this row 1. So it should move row 1 up as header, which means I'm going to use first row as header, which is under home menu. So if I go to home menu, if you are not there already, but that's where it will be in once you come to this environment, this Power BI, I just pick on use first row as header, and instantly that happens. Another thing I can see is it is bringing in additional columns that I do not need. So I pick them. So picking them is I click on the first, I hold on shift, I click on the last, and I right click, I say remove columns. Okay. So later on we will do more transformations, but for now let's just bring in the other data files. So I can from Power Query also bring in the additional files. I just go to new source, I do Excel, and the next one I'm going to bring in is the branch data. So I pick it, I bring the branch data. Again, I select it, I say OK, so that it brings that in here right now. Okay, And I'm also going to bring in the sales target. So the sales target file. Again, I pick the sheet that has the data that I need. I say okay, and boom, instantly it comes in here. So in this, I'm seeing some issues that I need to fix. So just to let it be clear, the issues I'm talking about. In this Excel file, what has happened is the January has only been written once, and it's assuming, making me think, which for us as humans, we understand that is the case. You know, all these branches are for January. But then when I want to do analysis, that will bring up a problem, right? So if I pick January, it's only going to think it's Bagada that there is record for January. So I need to do what they call fill down. So if you click here and then you go to transform, you will see fill, and then you see fill down. Also, if you right click on the column name, right, you will also see it. So whichever you feel more comfortable using. So I do fill down, and that will automatically fix that problem for me. I have a similar problem with the years, so I'm going to just repeat it, you know, straight up here. Fill down for the years so that it also fill down for the years. There are other things we're going to do on this, but for now, I'm just going to remove the columns that are not needed that it has brought in for me. We will do the other transformation gradually later. So I'm going to add the last data source, which is going to be the exchange rate. So we are supposed to do a version of this report in a different currency. So there's the local currency, there's the USD. So we need to bring in the exchange rate for us to know how to do the translation of those sales values. So I'm bringing in the exchange rate. I'm having the same issue of needing to fill down, so maybe now I'm going to use the transform, so at least you see that they do the same thing. Okay, and these are not needed, so I'm going to take them off. So I'm going to remove columns. Okay, so I'm going to stop here right now, and then the next video we're going to do how to do the fuller version of the transformations. So we're going to do some more transformation in the next video. See you in the next video.